morning, all. I am continuing to experiment here with this show, and I'm hoping that I'm going to adjust my monitor here. Hold on a second. There we go. It's a little bit better. Um, if you're listening to the video, or excuse me, if you're listening to the audio, I'm hoping that the sound sounds better and louder, more consistent this week. I'm getting there, this whole enterprise with video and audio. I really don't know what I'm doing. I think that's pretty much sums it up. And I'm learning as I go. But I knew that if I never embarked, I would never start. Sometimes you just need to do things, and then you'll figure it out as you go along and things will come together. It's not going to be perfect right from the outset. So that's what we're going with right now. But I figured out a few things in Audacity. It only takes a year apparently for me to figure these things out. And so I'm hoping that you're going to be hearing an enhanced audio quality. We'll see. But I'm working on that. That's definitely part of one of my spring goals is to have the sound quality better. So working on that. Other things that are going on with me today, if you're watching the video, you can see that I am wearing my finished and blocked Downton Abbey Mystery Crochet Along shawl. I talked about the knit version a month or so ago. So I finished the crochet version last, and I had to, soak it and block it. And so I have to say, I like they took what felt like forever, but I do like the final product. So if you're watching the video, you can see the wings. It is a similar design in terms of the shape of the shawl than the knit one. So we have mesh on the wings, and then the ends are, I do really love the design. You can see the scallop pattern. I love it, kind of. So, and I have a photo of the back, which is similar to the knit in that it has like a center medallion, and then the design branches off from there. So if you look in the show notes, you will see the back. And the colorway is autumn, actually. I think it's called Hayride. But, it's the spring and I'm wearing it now. I don't care. So I love the colors, green and gold and what would I call this? Not burgundy, but a very, like the color of red leaves. It's fall, very fall-y. So in craft news, that is done. I'm working on a silk lace scarf for myself right now, and it's blue. I think I had a picture on the blog at one point. And I also have a dress for Anne on the needles, summer lacy dress / tunic that she could probably wear leggings underneath of. So yeah, it's going good. It's really bright green. It like hurts your eyeballs to look at it. She picked the color, unsurprisingly. It's called Apple Teeny. So lots of fun things in the works. I've got some really nice craft things coming up that I'm super excited about. One I can't reveal because it's a surprise. I want to make sure that the recipient is not listening. It'll be a while before I can reveal it because it's a Christmas present, so it's like a really long haul wait there. But I'm going to be starting that. I really want to start a sweater for Mike, who's been waiting patiently for about 2 years for me to make him a new sweater. These things take time. And what else do I have coming up? I want to make, so in very exciting craft news, relatedly, I'm going to be making a Rhinebeck sweater. What the heck am I talking about? So every year in October, there is a fiber festival that's about, I guess, a 5-hour drive from where I live in, what do we call that, central New York, like the Hudson Valley, New York, called New York Sheep and Wool. And apparently it's the biggest and most well-known fiber festival in the country. And I've always wanted to go. And this year, my knitting group and I are going. We're driving down together. I'm going to be spending 2 nights there. It is going to be an absolute yarn bonanza. I'm saving my money now for the fantastic independent spinners and dyers that will be there selling their work, and we're very excited. They also have little classes and workshops and other things to see. They have live fiber bearing animals. This is hardcore. We're going to be having alpaca and Angora rabbits, and obviously there's going to be sheep there of all different sorts of variety, and goats, and I mean yaks, and it's just I can't wait. So Rhinebeck sweater is a phenomenon in which a knitter knits a sweater just to wear to Rhinebeck. And I'm planning on doing that. So I need to get going since that's in mid-October and it's already mid-April. These things definitely take time. My poor husband, he might be, I don't even know if his sweater will be finished this Christmas, but you know, hope springs eternal. So I have that on in my queue, and I've got some really crazy socks in my queue. Just fun stuff for in the summer. I mean, granted, you don't really think about sweaters in the summer necessarily, but sweaters are often knit in pieces, and so it makes it something that's not hanging on your lap like an Afghan or something. So they're actually quite doable in the summertime, not as bad as you would think. So it's exciting. Do any of you live near Rhinebeck, near the Hudson Valley? If you do, let me know because we could meet up. So that's one thing that's going on with me that's very pleasant right now. The other thing is all sort of dance related. So last night I went to the ballet with my mother-in-law, and it's like the middle of the week, so it's so odd. But every year here there's a performing arts center on campus where I work, and it's really a beautiful facility. They do a really nice job. The rest of the campus could use a little TLC, but the athletics facility and the performing arts facility are very nice. And so every April, there is a Russian ballet that'll come through one night and perform a ballet. And, you know, in recent years, I have really taken this Carpe Diem thing to heart. I love ballet, and for years and years, I just rarely attended performances because I don't know, I'm such an introvert. I don't feel like getting out of the house. I tell myself I shouldn't spend the money on tickets, and I have decided that I am done with that. If there is a ballet that I want to see, I'm going to buy the tickets. I mean, it's just, you don't get opportunities like that all the time, and I want to take advantage. So, last year, my mother-in-law and I went to see The Sleeping Beauty, which I had never seen. And this year, they had Giselle. And so I've never seen that either. So I got tickets, and last night we went out to dinner, had Middle Eastern food, delicious, and then came here to the ballet. I was tired because it doesn't even start until 7:30. So by the time I got home, it was 10, and that's like my bedtime. So it's like late for me during the week, but we had a great time. And I really enjoyed the ballet. This was probably the most dramatic ballet I have ever seen. I really wasn't familiar with the story, so I did a little research before we went. And, you know, spoilers, if you have never seen Giselle and you don't want to know the storyline, don't listen. But we were walking into the theater, and my mother-in-law says, you know, I'm a little familiar with the story. I think, doesn't she kill herself? And I thought, yeah, well, I knew that Giselle dies during the course of the ballet, and it seems to me that suicide does come up in these types of dramatic renderings somewhat regularly. So I said, yeah, that probably is what happens. I thought she died of a broken heart or something, is what I read. And she said, isn't there like, she was trying to, there's something like odd in the second act. And I said, yeah, there's ghosts. And that's another thing that comes up a lot in ballets, I find, is a supernatural element. So so it keeps it interesting for sure. So the story in Giselle is that, you know, she is I think it's set in France, and she's a, just an innocent young village girl, and she has this village boy, you know, obviously they're young adults, but who is in love with her and wants to marry her. And she falls in love with, I don't remember any of their names besides her, so, which is easy to remember. So she falls in love with this other guy, you know, kind of a suave, smooth-talking type of a guy. And unbeknownst to her, he's engaged to somebody else, a very prominent, noble woman. And she falls in love with him, and he is found out because a hunting party that his fiancee is in comes through town, and everybody figures this out. Giselle sees them together, becomes very hysterical, and has this descent into madness that they did a really good job with. I mean, you could really tell exactly what was happening in the story as all these things were unfolding, and she dies. She does it, and so it didn't seem to me that she killed herself, although she wanted to. She tried, but she sort of collapses. And in the summary I had read, indicated that in the story she has a weak heart, and so quite literally dies of a broken heart. So that's the end of the first act. And then in the second act, these two guys that loved her are like mourning her in the cemetery. They come separately, and then you see these ghostly women that apparently were all jilted brides, and who died before their time, and they haunt the guys that hurt them. And so the first guy they go after is the original boyfriend, the good guy, the one who just wanted to marry Giselle, was just from her village. And what they do is that they go after these guys and they force them to dance against their will, like they have some kind of a power, and so they had like dance them to death. And so they do that to this guy. And I'm like, what did that guy do? That didn't really seem very nice. So I felt bad for him, and they like toss him into a lake, and then they haunt the naughty guy there, the one who was fooling around behind the back of his fiance, well, behind the back of both of them. And so he comes along, and they try to terrorize him. And Giselle, they kind of raise Giselle from this, into their spirit world. And he dances with her for a time, and she realizes that she still loves him, and so she saves him. She uses whatever powers she has to shield him from these other ghostly women, and then they're extinguished, and he is saved, and she's able to rest in peace. And so the lights come up, the curtain goes down, the lights come up after all of the applause and everything. And my mother-in-law says, boy, that was very dramatic. She was really dramatic, much more so than I remembered. And I said, yeah, and it was, but that's often the case with these things. It was very compelling. I enjoyed it. It was different from any other ballet I've ever seen. I thought that the dancers were excellent. It was really a really nice evening. So more than you ever wanted to know about Giselle. There you go. So I'm anxious to see what they have coming next year, but this has become a little spring tradition, and I'm really enjoying it. My mom and I are going to see Riverdance next month, which is coming to another local theater. So I'm excited about that. And of course, the summer is when dance companies take off, but I'm going to keep my eye open in the fall and in the spring. We always see the Nutcracker in the winter, but see something else too. It's just a really wonderful thing if you have other relatives that enjoy the ballet, or children. I think, depending on the story, it might be more a little too sad maybe for them, depending on the stories. But so obviously that's an important caveat. But besides that, I just think it's a wonderful thing to take children to see the arts and to inspire a love within them for those types of endeavors. So that was my night, and it got me to just thinking about dance generally, and the beauty and just the lines of ballet. I love it. It is definitely a dance for younger people. That is when you're in your prime, is when you're, in your early 20s. So it's something that I miss very much, although I could still absolutely take a lesson if I wanted to. But, in terms of those iconic and beautiful performances, it's, the professional companies with the younger dancers that really are at the height of their performance skills. It's just a beautiful thing to watch. It did make me nostalgic for when I used to take ballet. I do love that dance form. And so then it got me to thinking about what I do love about Middle Eastern dance is that it is not a dance that ages. I love that about it. You see women from all age groups and body types and anything that you can possibly imagine. All differences amongst women are present throughout belly dance and when I watch. And I absolutely love that about that form of dance, is that it gives an opportunity for people to pick it up at any stage of their life and to continue to grow and learn, and to be at like peak performance form decades past when you would be in peak performance form for ballet. So I was thinking about that, and we have a bunch of dance events coming up this summer, and I'll talk about those in another episode since I'm already coming up here to the end of my time. But lots to look forward to. I need to start thinking about some music for the summer and what I want to do. And it is a wonderful season. The spring and the summer is our high performance season because that's when there's outdoor festivals and such where they want cultural dance forms. Where festivals and other outdoor events wants cultural dance troupes to perform. So that's our high seasons, and we have a lot this year. We have a lot more than we've ever had. So I'll be talking about that quite a bit coming up, and it's always an adventure. Something always goes wrong, but that's what makes it so terribly enjoyable to me. It's just a wonderfully fun and unpredictable experience to perform like that, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So I will go into that more in the next week or so, but let me know what's going on with you this spring week, and if you have been to any dance performances or any other form of the arts recently before the spring season wraps up. What have you seen? Just quickly before we sign off, I do have the poll up for the book club. And some of you have voted, thank you. If you haven't voted yet, go check it out on the blog. And currently, our leader in the poll is the Catholic historical nonfiction title called The Church of Spies, about Pius XII during World War II. And it sounds like an interesting one, but there are also 2 fiction options and another nonfiction, like autobiography of a cardinal. Oh, and I can't remember what country he's from, but it sounds like a very interesting. So I have the blurbs in yesterday's post. I'll link to it in the show notes. If you would like to read those and vote, please do. You have until April 20th, the morning of April 27th. We'll see what we're going to be reading coming up here. So weigh in. Let us know what you would like to read. And I can't wait to embark on that with all of you. I think that it's very exciting that we've changed the format. And I'm very excited about it. So I will keep you posted on that, and submit your vote in the meantime, and write into me. Let me know what's going on with you, what's going on this spring, and I look forward to talking to you soon. See y'all later. Bye.